Sadly, it's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Or maybe it's a guy named Desmond who plays Mama Cass records. Either way, welcome to Xplay.
On today's show, we review new games, dig up one of the weirdest imports ever, and check out 2 next-gen games for the Xbox 360.
Yes, on today's show, we'll review a new Total War game.
A crazy side-scroller RPG hybrid.
And we finally tell you what we think about the new and improved Fable game for the PC.
Plus, what do 60-foot-tall bikini-clad women, female wrestlers for the Xbox 360, and giant next-gen mechs have in common? Well, we saw them all at the Tokyo Game Show, and today we'll be passing them on to you.
But we begin with something from the developers of the flawless Rome Total War.
As many of you know, Rome Total War was one of the best real-time strategy games we've played in years. We gave it a perfect score, a 5 out of 5.
Now the creators of that game have made their first foray into console gaming.
And it couldn't be more different than Rome for the PC. Here's our review of Spartan, Total Warrior.
Now, this is not anywhere near as good as Rome Total War. It doesn't have the detail or the quality of its strategy counterpart.
Plus, if you fall off a ledge, it kills you. We don't know why. It just does.
I just want to know why there's so many ledges to begin with.
It's a very ledge-oriented society.
Of course. So if you loved Rome Total War and wanted to pick up another game like it, this really is not the one for you.
Honestly, if you liked Rome, I'd recommend cute alien console strategy like Pikmin 2 over this game.
They have little flowers on their head. And if you just want hack and slash warfare, get Kingdom Under Fire. Sure, the gameplay isn't better than the gameplay in Spartan, but at least the dialogue is hilarious.
And all the warriors wear bikinis.
Of course. And now for something completely different.
A Monty Python ripoff.
Actually, I was talking about our next game, which is a weird side-scrolling shooter RPG hybrid, which makes almost as much sense as the Ministry of Silly Walks. Here's a review of Sigma Star Saga. Hey. Sadly, that Pam Anderson novel is a national bestseller. It's almost as depressing as the fact that Jules' A Night Without Armor became the best-selling book of poetry released by a living poet in the United States.
We say living poet because I'm pretty sure all the others died of shock and frustration when Jules' book made the New York Times bestsellers list.
I guess that explains Sylvia Plath. She was psychic. I guess she looked into the future, saw A Night Without Armor, and opened the oven.
Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Welcome back to Xplay, the show that keeps on running blindly like a chicken with its head cut off.
As many of you know, Morgan and I recently went to Japan for the Tokyo Game Show.
For those of you who don't know, Tokyo Game Show is a massive video game convention where developers unveil new games and next-gen consoles in Japan.
And we saw plenty of next-gen trailers of new games for the Xbox 360.
Sure, we could keep them to ourselves, but we like to spread the love in a safe and wholesome way.
So sit back and enjoy our first next-gen trailer that'll have the mech fans jumping up and down with joy. Here's your first look at Chrome Hounds.
Will have online play. I know you were asking that, but it won't be ready in time for the Xbox 360's launch in November.
However, this next game might be. Maybe. It doesn't have a release date yet.
Yes, if you ever wanted to see the horror of breast physics as rendered by the Xbox 360, here's your first look at Rumble Rose's XX. Wow, did you see that? It was like the Matrix there for a second. It was horrifying.
And I can't wait to buy it.
Up next, Giant Women, it's still Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
You know, we went to Tokyo and all we got was this lousy t-shirt. It says, I'm McDaddy and can't stop.
Actually, I got something else.
Yeah, but you're only supposed to talk about that with the doctor.
Oh, no, not that. I got a weird game about giant women.
I bet the Rumble Roses fans are just gonna love it.
They sure will. Here's our international edition of Weird Games, presented by EB Games.
Konnichiwa.
Giant Beauty sits on me.
I love reviews that end with Adam being menaced by giant women. Whose fantasy is that?
Well, it's not mine. I can assure you that. You should tell by the end of that. I just want to know, like, did she act like she was on, like, 3 hits of Quaaludes before she became big? Or was that a result of, like, suddenly her brain being very small in proportion to the rest of her body?
She's slow. She did throw the truck. That was...
Yeah, but that could have just been like, what's this? Oh, what's that? Oh, something like that. The game's weird, which is why it's in Weird Games.
Right.
Exactly. Now, you have to admit, though, Godzilla, he does look kind of sexy in a bikini.
So does Ghidorah. You wouldn't think so, but she does.
Ghidorah's a woman?
I think so. Do you know how to sex a giant lizard?
With 3 heads? No. And if I did, I wouldn't tell anyone.
Oh.
Coming up, it's Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
It's because they don't know we're here.
Not many people do. Welcome back to Xplay. I have nothing new or exciting to say about fantasy games.
And neither do I.
But since we have to say something about this next game, here goes. When Fable came out for the Xbox, it had an amazing amount of promise.
Now, sadly, it didn't really live up to that promise. Yes, we liked it, but it wasn't the amazing RPG experience creator Peter Molyneux made it out to be.
Now, Fable is coming to the PC, and since the developers have had more time to work on the game, Fable is offering up a little more when it hits the PC. Here's a review of Fable: The Lost Chapters. They say that you don't have 5.
Keep in mind that you have to finish the game to get most of the extra content, like the brothel, the make your own tattoos, and the extra missions.
But all that stuff Peter Molyneux claimed would be in the original game, like the fact that this was supposed to be open-ended as opposed to totally scripted, there's none of that here.
So, if you already played through this once on the Xbox, save your money and skip the PC version, extras, and all.
Still a good game, but there just isn't enough stuff here to keep old Fable fans occupied, which actually brings us to today's Fable-centric viewer mail.
How timely! Today's viewer mail is from Scott Davis. He writes, I was wondering if you happen to know if Fable: The Lost Chapters is going to come out on the Xbox as well as the computer, because my computer kind of sucks, and I just like the console a lot more.
We happen to know, actually.
Yes, amazingly.
Yes, it's going to be released as the Platinum Hits version of Fable, so you can get all the Lost Chapter extras plus the original game for only $20.